get the bar.
Equivalent of having the lens cap on.
I got a question for you.
For you, for whom?
Kenneth.
How dare you?
One, why is Tom DeGraw's stream name not Major Tom, along with Commander Ship?
Oh man, that's good.
Two,
Sorry,
I'm thinking about making.
We just never thought of it.
Yeah, that's why you got Dad Joke Jerry here.
Oh God.
Two, I think I actually am going to make my stream name Ace Trainer Jerry, but I'm worried that we're going to get in trouble with Nintendo for doing that.
Why would you get in trouble with screw them?
Okay, fine, we'll do
What
that.
are they gonna do about it? Ask you to change it
So we're going to call.
and threaten legal action?
Precisely. Sorry, that I'm like, I was like, what
I don't
are you
know.
talking about?
I don't know, I'm not trying to get in trouble.
Now, if your name was Gary, then we might have to have a conversation. Just be
No, that boy's an asshole. We ain't being him.
Who's Gary? Meow. The antagonist of all the Pokemon games, his name is Assface. What are you talking about?
That's a good one.
But yeah. You can call me Ace Trainer Jerry and Commander Ship and Afro Steve.
Yep. Or go my never used Twitch handle, Imminent Doom X.
Imminent Doom X.
Doom.
Imminent Doom was already taken, so I had to throw the X in there. In classic Mega Man fashion.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I like it. Because Mega Man X is just a phenomenal, hard, and phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mean. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's like that kind of mean. Like once you learn it, you're like, oh, okay, I can like jump and like be agile and crap like that. But if you like screw up one thing,
I mean,
you'll
yeah,
take some
every Mega
damage.
Man X game has like one jump that's hard, and then you're like, oh man, I wonder what the particular sequence of that I need to kill these bosses in is. And then you guess, and you're usually like half right most of the time, and then you win the game.
Yeah, and then you figure out how to play the game, and you're like, okay, I can cheese everything until you get to Sigma, and Sigma's like, I'm bad.
And it's like, now I'm actually hard, so I hope you're good at the game by now. And you're like, wait, what now?
So the other day I tried to beat Mega Man X3. Oh my gosh, Sigma is so hard in that.
Yeah, all the first three Mega Man X games are like where it really shines. Mega Man X4 is dope. 5 is really good. 6 is 7 is about as good as 6. 8 got weird because I think they did Mega Man X8. I think they did some weird 3D thing or whatever.
No, that was 7 where that started.
Was that 7? Okay, yeah, that was the one. It was. I think then 7 was the one that was the weird one, and then it was interesting. On the heels of Mega Man X Command Mission, where you were kind of acquainted with the whole 3D Mega Man thing, or 3D Mega Man X thing, because Legends already came and went.
Oh.
It was okay, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
That's out some Mega Man 64.
I mean, I can start streaming.
Huh?
I haven't played it.
It's the same as Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, exactly. I've been playing some
I
Mega Man Zero though. Mega Man Zero is good.
Mega
Oh,
Man Zero is really good.
yeah. It's also
wanna
really
play-
hard, but it's really good.
It is. It's actually challenging. It's really solid. If you want to play and it holds up really well. Like if you want to play a really solid Mega Man game, and you're like, I don't want to play regular Mega Man, and I've already played everything in Mega Man X, and Mega Man Zero is a really solid game for you to try.
Yeah. Mega Man Zero is really good. The storyline on it is really good, really interesting, especially as further you progress in the series, because it connects really well with the whole overall Mega Man canon, like all of it.
The other Mega Man game that came out, what was that? 2018, 2019, something like that.
It's like Mega Man ZX.
No, that one's still one of the what's it called? I think the advanced games. The other one I'm talking about came out on the Switch. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Mega Man, like Double Gear, or something to that effect. That one's also really good. It's a real solid regular Mega Man game out on the Switch and a bunch of other consoles and whatnot. Definitely recommend that one. That one's pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, welcome to State of the Nerd Union, everybody. We're just sitting here talking a bunch of Mega Man stuff. I am Ace Trainer Jerry. This is Commander Ship and Afro Steve. We are going to be talking... Kenny likes the nicknames now. We're trying to work on our nicknames for streams and stuff like that. Tonight, we're going to be talking, obviously, like a whole lot of video games because, like, movie theaters are still closed. So, like, things are shut down. but that's all right. We're still gonna have some fun with this. Yeah. So how are you guys doing today? Kenny, how are you?
Doing fine. Doing fine. Had a lot of game pickups today, which we were talking about. Some craziness. But
I was gonna ask. I saw those boxes in your background, and I was like, "This must be some game drops or pickups and stuff."
I don't know what you're talking about. Pay no attention.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Steve, what about you? How you doing tonight?
Particularly adequate. Coming off of a cold. It's me, your main man Steve, out here coughing with his mouth wide open in the sanctity of his own home. But it's cool. He lives alone. It's me. Just coming off of a cold. So I was like a very, very sneezy like over the past couple days, and just like slept for like 14 hours of a day. I'd like get up, eat some food, and I would blink, and my brain is just like, hey man, what if like instead of blinking, we just went to sleep instead? So that was fun. I like basically like I don't even think I did my dailies for Genshin.
Oh man.
I think I started doing them yesterday or whatever, so it was like, all right, I'm coming back up, but I'm back at it, still alive and COVID free. So,
and that's the important part. None of us have gotten COVID this whole time, actually. Now that I think about it,
it's because I've been staying in the damn house, but also I have the economic means to do so. So
yeah, there's that. My wife is a nurse and has not brought it home yet, surprisingly. Yeah, but she did get her COVID vaccine today, or the second shot of the COVID vaccine today.
Nice.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so first up on our list for tonight, if you guys are fans of things like Jedi Fallen Order, the studio that made that game, Respawn, is now making a new IP. What exactly that is, we don't really know. But if it's anything as good as like Jedi Fallen Order was, because that game's phenomenal, we can look forward to having a good reveal maybe this year, probably around E3 time-ish, which, for those who don't know, because we didn't have E3 this year, like basically all year was E3. Yeah, really it was, though. Jedi Fallen Order, or E3 is basically a console game, PC game, big event reveal where they tell us all the things that are in the works that they're willing to give detailed info about. It's a big, huge convention. It happens in California every year. Probably isn't going to happen in California this year again, but depends on how vaccine rollouts happen. But yeah, so could probably expect to hear more news about that later this year. I'm really excited because I like Respawn Studios games and they're fun, and I always like getting new fun games.
Yep. Quick tangent for those who are familiar, who haven't played Fallen Order in a little while. Quite some time ago, they came out with a big update for free.
Yeah.
Big shock. Big update. They added some new skins, a new Game Plus mode, some new lightsaber stuff, and a new what would I call that? I guess
it's like a boss rush, isn't it? Or like an arena?
It's like a boss rush. It's like an arena, and it's also like a create your own battle type of thing. So you can put in like whatever units that you want to put in and challenge yourself to fight whatever units, and like you can create the challenge and the points and all that razzmatazz, and they put it in for free, which is a lot more than we can expect from anybody doing anything that EA has a hand in. So
yeah, surprisingly, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, especially because EA straight up said people don't want to play like 25-hour, 30-hour, 40-hour single-player experiences anymore. I guess you're proven wrong. But given how salty they've been about Battlefront 2, or Battlefront? Star Wars. Yeah, Battlefront 2. It was something I never expected to see. Of like, I kind of expected them to be like, well, fine, I guess people do want to play single-player games. And then I never expected them to come out with free DLC for a successful single player Star Wars experience.
Yeah.
So good job on that.
And to see a good successful Star Wars experience come out of EA was shocking, to say the least.
Baffling.
And then they did it again.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
So we'll have to see what other stuff they're coming out with, but it did put a tinge, mind you, of hope into EA. Now, granted, we're still going to hear about them getting sued like every other week, and Steve loves talking about it. But
yeah.
We gotta drop the other shoe here.
We're gonna start calling him Prosecutor Steve.
I'll put my executioner's hood on, which will inevitably get stuck over my afro.
What if you just like cut or like throw your afro into the shape of an executioner's hood?
And then like have it come down as like Jerry curls to cover the rest of my face except for my ass. It sounds legit.
What?
Do it.
Do it.
Speaking of customizing your characters, for those of you who don't know, Monster Hunter is getting a new game on the Nintendo Switch of all things. If you're a big fan of Monster Hunter World, or if you're not a big fan of Monster Hunter World because you felt like it was too easy, Monster Hunter Rise, from what I'm hearing from veterans, is a good balance of both, of OG Monster Hunter and new Monster Hunter. And you might say, Jerry, how do you know about that? It's way too early for you to get a press copy about this game. You're right. It's because Nintendo dropped a demo of it where you have like 30 missions that you can complete and try out various weapon styles and all that jazz in the game. So it's for free. You can go to the Nintendo eShop and download it right now. It actually managed to crash the eShop when it downloaded because I didn't realize there were that many Monster Hunter fans on the Switch. But apparently there are, which is a good sign for the player base for when the game launches. That means that there's a lot of folks who are interested. And for all of us new Monster Hunter players like me, who didn't really know if they wanted this game, but it looked really cool, it gave us an opportunity to test the game out. And while I did quite thoroughly get my ass beat by monsters in the game, it was a lot of fun. We had some audio problems, but you can check it out on our Twitch page or our YouTube page or our Facebook page. Chris Galecki and I streamed it the other day, and he's exponentially better at this game than I am. But we managed to take down a couple monsters. We didn't manage to take down the intermediate level monster because it was really hard, and I just stupid and I chose an archer. But it was still a lot of fun. If you want to go check that out, you can just go check out the stream, or you can just go download it right now while you're watching the show. So I don't know. Do either of you guys play Monster Hunter at all?
I played a lot of Monster Hunter World. I was aware of Monster Hunter prior to that. I just never really got into it.
Yeah.
But a while back, me and a good friend of mine played somewhere in the order of, if I look at my Steam thing, it'll tell me, but I'm going to guess probably about 120 hours worth of Monster Hunter. So really good game. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking that, for the Switch owners, did they ever get Monster Hunter World, or was it only for PS4, PC, and Xbox?
Yeah, they never got Monster Hunter World.
Right. So I think the last release they got was Ultimate, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
No, I think they got Monster Hunter World. Because I remember my friend telling me that he was going to buy it on Switch, and he would be extra salty if my other friends bought it on PC because he wanted to play it with them. And they're like, we definitely won't buy it. You can buy it on Switch. And then I told them that they bought it on PC. And they
I'm about to say, I'm like 2,000% sure that game is not on Switch. I know Monster Hunter Ultimate is, though.
Well, somebody look it up. Somebody do it.
I'll look it up.
That's my job as producer. My bad.
No,
I'm about to say, I'm like, you're the producer, you do it. If I start clicking on my computer, it's going to make a bunch of noise that nobody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you? Really?
Yes, I did.
Is that what
very
that nostalgia throwback. That's what we need to come out on Switch.
Yeah, it looks like it's just Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which I guess is a different game? ? Or is it the same game?
You remember when Sonic
just
Adventure had
branded
like
different.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle come out, and it was Sonic Adventure 2 but with like bonus stuff? It's like that.
That's weird.
Oh, is it?
I don't like it.
So,
as he stalls to get the thing up. Okay,
Looks
so
like the
yes.
answer is no.
Yes, it was only on PC, Xbox, and PS4. So my thought
And
was
KFC console?
get out. I guess technically it'd probably be able to run it on a finger
probably.
licking power.
The power
finger licking. Oh my gosh, y'all are just.
I said it.
You're giving me so much ammo for this KFC console review.
Hey man, if I keep giving them slogans, eventually they'll start paying me.
That's right.
I'm just gonna write down all your slogans, and then we're gonna stream some gameplay on this thing and all sorts of stuff, and get all of us on there, and we're just gonna crack jokes the whole time and make like funny names for stuff.
See, we could be like hashtag we're ethical, but hashtag not above getting paid. So
Hashtag sponsor us.
oh crap, what was I gonna say? So my thought was, yeah, if you're a Switch owner and you wanted a full Monster Hunter experience, not knocking the one that's on there, but I mean it was also on the 3DS, so that can kind of give you an idea of what that was looking like. Yeah, you probably haven't had one since the Wii U, and then everyone jumped off the Wii U for the Switch. So I can understand why this shop would crash for people wanting to, if you're a Switch owner, you're like, finally, God, let me get it.
Ah! But yeah, so that game's going to release in a couple weeks. Actually, no, not a couple weeks. It's going to release in March. I think the 21st is when it's supposed to come out.
That's a couple weeks.
Yeah, just a couple weeks, like 6. February short. But yeah, so you can check out some gameplay on that, or you can just go play it yourself. The download, I think, is only available until the 2nd of February, though. So if you want to do it in the next couple weeks and go check it out. So in other news, Nintendo, the king of cease and desist, because they're worried about people taking their content, may have inadvertently or advertently stolen someone else's properties. Yoink! Which I guess technically was like somebody took their property and they did their own thing, and then Nintendo did their own thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so for those of you who don't know, Super Nintendo World is a Nintendo-themed theme park area that is coming to Universal Studios Japan and in the United States in the future, but the one in Japan is basically ready. If you haven't had a chance to go check that out, you can go on YouTube and see a video of the CEO of Nintendo running around in there just being ridiculous, also confirming that he is the father of Mario and Luigi. I kid you not, that's in the video. So in some of their advertisements of it, it appears that Nintendo stole a fan art from an artist named Ujido. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled Ujidow. You can go find this on Twitter. Just search for that on Twitter. It appears that they have stolen some fan art from him in their hashtag We Are Mario slogan, which is interesting because usually Nintendo is trying to shut everybody else down about that. Now, granted, it is their own character, so like, I guess they can do whatever they want, but there's a level of hypocrisy here that's kind of funny, given how often Nintendo is known to shut stuff down.
I can guess exactly what happened. So maybe like a year ago or so, what was the name of the YouTuber? The guy who does the Game Theory channel did a show about accidentally stealing some artwork or whatever. And basically what ends up happening is, like, if you're working for the company or you're working at Nintendo and you Google Super Mario artwork, like, not all of the artwork that comes up is created by Nintendo. Yeah. And you find like some high quality image of Mario and you're like, oh, cool. I'll use this one. This is our character. What possible problem could there be? And the problem is like that particular iteration of that character was not drawn by Nintendo, and the artwork didn't come from internally. It came from out there on the ether of the internet. And like, there's a whole bunch of due diligence you got to do to assert and be really, really sure that this Google image that you searched of Super Mario came from Nintendo and didn't come from somebody else. And a lot of times it can be really hard to do that. Nintendo should be good at it. There's a whole bunch of people that are in line that should have caught this mistake for them not to. But the likelihood is it was probably on like 2 people to catch it, and it's like, hey, did you get that picture of Super Mario in there? It's like, yeah, I did. It's like, okay, that looks like Super Mario is good to go. And then they just kind of roll with it, and then eventually somebody's like, yo, hold up, I drew that.
Wait a minute. So I'm going to do a peel back of the curtain here for a second for viewers who aren't reviewers. So, fun fact, when you get in contact with Nintendo about trying to do things professionally with them, they give you access to their Nintendo Press website. And on that Nintendo Press website, they have obviously like all their press news and stuff like that, but they have a list of assets of pictures and videos that you can use for whatever content that you want to make. That being said, it's amusing to me that something like that would have ended up in that situation, given the fact that exists.
Yep, and
So it further reinforced how hard somebody messed up.
since people don't listen, because like that's exactly why you have those tools. For my company, we have the same thing. So if you're using our logo or you're designing a web page anywhere for our website, there's a design website that we have that's like, here are the specs. You know, the text should be this big, the color of this kind of thing should be this color, the background should be this. Here are a bunch of images you can use, etc., etc., so that these mistakes don't happen. And either somebody messed up and put that image into that repository, or probably more likely, this person was like, "Oh, let me just go Google an image of Super Mario." How harmless and
then they're like,
what a harmless and you know, insignificant action. What could possibly go wrong?
what a crazy random happenstance. So that's an interesting aspect of Nintendo. So next time you want to be like, Nintendo likes to shut stuff down, you could throw that into your ammo book for that. Your ammunition for that.
Ciao.
Ka-chow. I'm actually going to skip over this next point because I forgot to look up stuff on it real quick, and I'll do that in a minute.
In the meantime, I can talk about Ganyu in Genshin.
Yeah, you do that.
The new Genshin banner just rolled out a hot minute ago. For the folks who play Genshin, we got a new character coming up. Ganyu is she's a character based in Liyue. She works for the Qixing, and I think if I recall, she is oh man, I'm blanking on his name.
Zhongli?
Yeah, she's Zhongli's boss.
Yeah.
Which to me was baffling. For reasons that I won't reveal, if for those who have not yet gotten to that part of the story. But to have a character who's Zhongli's boss, I was like, wait, what? Okay, sure, fine,
Yeah.
that's fine. But yeah, she's a cryo-based hero. She's the next newest 5-star, and she's a bow-based character. I haven't been lucky enough to roll her yet. I'm not
She's
sure
not
if
out
she's
yet,
rollable.
is she?
I'm not sure if she's rollable.
Yeah, I think it comes out.
No, tomorrow.
Nice.
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
But they just announced the banner will be up. But yeah, so I don't know that much about her in terms of like how she plays. I have no idea. Bow characters really aren't my jive, despite the fact that I have a whole bunch of high-level bow weapons that I just don't want to use. So I have no idea where or how she would fit into my team. But we're getting more 5-stars and we're getting a little bit more story. So, excuse me, I'm always happy. I'm most excited for the next big new area to come out in Genshin. We were talking a little bit before the call started. I'm probably going to start to peel back off Genshin once my next battle pass is complete, because I'm at like BP 35 or whatever, and I diligently get on and I play every day. But I've done most of the story. I've collected all the Animo stuff that I need to and all the Geo stuff, so I have all that razzmatazz, and I'm getting to the point where I'm happy with my team. So I'm going to back off a little bit and let a little bit more content come out before jumping back into it hardcore, where I play every day.
Yeah. And some of our viewers may be wondering, like, guys, why are you always talking about Genshin Impact? There's like 5 people that play that game. Okay, so you remember when...
What? 5?
Not E.
Every show he does this.
Every dang it.
Yep.
All right, so you guys remember when Fortnite came out and everyone's like, this is just a stupid fad. It's going to go away in like 2 months and nobody's going to be playing it again. It's basically the RPG version of that. And we say this because this game is not because it's like repetitive, but it's going to get
good.
huge. Yeah, it's
good.
Stupidly good. And it's free and it's stupidly good. And you're like, all right, but you have to pay money to get anywhere. No, you don't. I haven't paid any money. I have like, what is it, like 3 different 5-star characters, and I have enough to like guarantee another 5, like enough like free pulls in the game to guarantee enough. Steve hates me for this.
He got his 5 stars so early on.
And I have enough of the in-game currency that I've just gotten from just straight up playing the game like casually, like not even hardcore, just casually playing the game. I have enough in-game currency to guarantee 5-star character, like a bunch of pulls and get another 5-star character with. Like, it's really free to play friendly.
Just ridiculous.
It's just a lot of fun. Like, Steve and I really like playing it a lot. Like, we don't even necessarily have like a set goal each time we play. It's just fun.
Yeah. farming and doing dailies is like legit fun, and the story's cool. The gameplay's fun. The randos I meet online are not jerks.
Yeah, everyone in the game is friendly. The music is phenomenal. The story, like he was saying, is really, really interesting. So,
which is why I want more.
Yeah, exactly. And they're doing a pretty good job. They've got like every 6 weeks they have an update that features more story.
That sounds about right.
And in between there, every 3 weeks there's a new character that they add that also features a little bit of extra lore. But there's no big lore things except for like every 6 weeks. And when I say big lore, like Steve and I were running around for like 2 or 3 weeks, about 2 weeks on the most recent story expansion that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a lot, and we like binge played it in a lot.
Long time to find some of those like special unmarked side quests stuff.
Oh yeah, I finally did that. We can talk about that later.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, but speaking of RPGs that are online and free, some of you guys may be players of Neverwinter. Neverwinter is coming out with another expansion soon. It is going to be called Sharandar. I hope that I'm pronouncing this right. I don't play Neverwinter, so if I butcher this coverage of this, I'm sorry. I don't have the context of having played this game for a very long time, like a lot of people have. But it's going to be a elf woodland area that's got some, I think it's like an overhaul of the map from like 7 years ago, back in 2013. But so that's coming out sometime this year. I don't know exactly when. Oh, wait, no, it is. It's supposed to come out on February 9th of this year. So for all of you fans of that, you can look forward to having that really soon. And I hope that you enjoy it. I'm not super big into D&D games because I'd rather just play D&D personally, but I know Neverwinter has been going for a long time, and I have some friends who play it, and they like it a lot. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's free. Go check it out. It's pretty fun.
I was gonna say, I also think it depends on the D&D game.
Yeah,
Like,
That's true.
because I like Pathfinder.
they're all very
Kingmaker
different.
quite a bit.
What was that
Okay.
game? Pathfinder and what?
Kingmaker. So, or that's
I
the
haven't
name.
played that one.
Yeah.
I actually have that on my computer. I just haven't played it yet.
Nice. I'm big partial to the 5th edition and 3.5. I started with 3.5 D&D, and then 5th edition is a lot easier for folks to pick up. So my current campaign that I'm running, my players are using that one.
If you like 3.5, then you'll like Pathfinder.
I have played Pathfinder.
In other MMO news, or I guess this is Battle Arena MMO, League of Legends had a massive info drop this week. So the new season, as some of you League players may know, has already started. It started last week. Yeah, so that started last week. We got to find out a ton of information. This ranks reset. We found out that the Ruined King of that game, who has been rumored at in various lore aspects for literal years, is finally coming to the game as a playable character, along with the Ruined King game that's coming out that Pride's producing. So if you haven't had a chance to check out his kit, you can go online and look at some of his stuff. I know that the PvE environment has some of his stuff right now, and he looks bonkers because he basically has a passive Blade of the Ruined King. That doesn't make sense to anybody who hasn't played this game. But along with that, we found out more information about the next Teamfight Tactics pass too, or next Teamfight Tactics set rather. It's going to be called Festival of Beasts. There will be some new traits and origins for the set. I'm not going to go into all of them here because it's a lot of stuff, but they're going to be removing some champions. They're going to be adding some champions in, which means they're going to be reworking a few abilities. There's going to be some new item stuff set up. There's obviously some nerfs and buffs that are going to be happening to it, but the new Teamfight Tactics set should be coming out next week. I want to say, I think it's a week away. I was looking at the Battle Pass earlier, and I think it's cancels out next week. So yeah, I'm going to expect to see all of that next week. For those who don't know anything about League of Legends, but you've heard people talk about it, it's also free. You can go download that. But unlike Genshin, that community is super toxic, and half those people are really rude. And I say half those people, I mean genuinely 50% of the people I meet are super rude, and the other 50% are awesome. So, fair warning, it is not a child-friendly community.
That sounds about right. About right. And that's really important. It is not a child-friendly community.
No. So, fair warning on that. But for all you fans of that, you can go to League of Legends website and check out that. There's a ton of information that dropped about that. And just go ahead and download the update to the client. It'll automatically install. So, yeah. Kenny, there was some news about Ray Fisher and Cyborg this week that happened. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot and I know a little.
That's okay.
So for those that watched
A little
the
lot.
Commander Ship show last week, I still don't have an update. So basically, I'll give a recap here, and I don't have an update to that recap, but I'll recap it here for folks that didn't see that. Long story short, there was accusations of Joss Whedon having inappropriate remarks and things on the set of Justice League. So this is not in a like sexual assault situation. This is more of like verbal harassment, at least as far as we can tell and what we've been able to read. There's some weirdness there about the other cast members not coming forward. So it's curious if it was only about Ray Fisher in particular, or maybe something between Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon. Regardless, Warner Brothers did their investigation, and there's also something coming up with Walter Hamada. Am I sure I made that name right? Yeah, Walter Hamada is one of the Warner Brothers execs. Him and Ray Fisher as well did not have a good standing relationship after either during the movie or after it was completed. So after all the investigation went down, they're no longer going to be using Cyborg in future Ray Fisher to be playing Cyborg in future movies. So I think some things that should be apparent for everyone. If this is retaliation for him coming forward and asking for this investigation to be done, that's obviously very, very wrong. And that, I mean, they're opening themselves up to lawsuit and so on and so forth. Again, he probably won't work with Warner Brothers again, but could probably get a settlement or something for that. The only thing, again, the reason I'm waiting for more information is just I don't know. There's just some things that don't add up. And I don't want to accuse Ray Fisher of anything. I'm just saying there's still some gaps in the story from either Warner Brothers or Ray Fisher.
Yeah, so that information got furthermore delved into this week, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with the rest of that. But you want to keep track of that, check out or hit that like button or subscribe to the channel and watch the Commander Ship show. He talks a lot more about that on his show. In other movie news, actually, I don't know if Kenny's really talked about this too much yet. John Chu is stepping away from the movie Willow, and you can check out on Lucasfilm's page. There's an emotional, and I say emotional, I don't mean that like casually. I mean like there's a very emotional like note that he's left there for all the fans of that movie. Kenny, do you know anything more about that situation or no?
No, because I just found that out as we were getting ready for the show. So
okay,
I'll have to dive into that a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, so we don't really know the full details of why that's happening, but he's stepping away from directing Willow. We'll have to wait and see what comes out about that. But yeah, so moving on to more Lucasfilm things though. Lucasfilm.
Get hype.
I did not mean to plan it this way. So Lucasfilm is going to be coming out with a game studio, kind of. I don't really know. So back in the day of like Shadows of the Empire and whatnot, there was something along the lines of a game studio called LucasArts. And they made a lot of really good games that we're all fans of, like KOTOR and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Lucasfilm has now rededicated itself to a gaming division called Lucasfilm Games. And we don't necessarily know a ton about what that means, but it does mean that they are focusing more on expansion of lore via video games. And it means we're getting more Star Wars games, which is always good because we want more Star Wars games and we want more good Star Wars games. And
but fam, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna let you finish in a moment. But Lucasfilm Games has got to be the dumbest studio name since LucasArts existed, which is like, why would you just why is it not just LucasArts? Why? Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you're right.
That might be the old dude in me coming out.
Old black man Kenny.
I'm sorry if they're like, man, you just sounded crusty and dusty. I'm like, well, I don't care. Sorry, continue.
Right. I mean, you're right,
Games.
but yeah. But if I'm thinking about this honestly, like I'm excited about that because Jedi Fallen Order is really good. Battlefront 2 got really good. Kenneth is in love with Squadrons.
Squad up.
So they've been doing really good in the games department, y'all. Like real good. I've heard the story for the Old Republic is good. I don't play the Old Republic. I don't have time for that. But
it is really good.
Okay.
I have not played it, but I've I'll just keep it short. I've consumed a lot of it, and the story for Old Republic is real good.
Okay. So they're on track to keep going with some really good content. They've got a lot of good games that we already expect from them. They've got a lot of good foundation. And their TV lore is really good. So let's just let them keep going with lore. Just let them keep going it. Dave Filoni, fix it, keep doing good things, make more lore. We're happy with it.
Kingdom Hearts Star Wars crossover.
I was trying to think if that actually does exist already first. I was like, wait. I was like, is that a thing? No, that's not a thing.
Hopefully not. No. I would prefer that we just pretend that Kingdom Hearts only made 2 games and the second one just didn't make any sense and we just rolled with it.
Yeah. That's a whole other show.
This dude's
Maybe one day we'll do that. But it's a lot.
You could write like 7 seasons of anime based on the Kingdom Hearts bad lore, and it wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, you could at that point you really would just call the show Nani? The show.
What the show?
Because that's basically what you're wondering the whole time.
This is just watch the Kingdom Hearts anime. Like, this is the worst Disney princess movie ever.
It is though. Speaking of classic love franchises, Scott Pilgrim is coming out with a video game, as some of you may have already known. Which coming out isn't really the correct word. It is getting re-released.
It's a re-release. Yeah, it's a re-release.
But you can pre-order that starting the 15th of January.
This Friday? This Friday.
Yeah. We can drop a comment in at the end of the show giving a link to that website that has that. So it's supposed to release a lot further on down the road. But this Friday is when it's going to be officially like pre-order set up. If you haven't had a chance to play it, it's like this OG like beat 'em up style game based on like the Scott Pilgrim comics, and it's hilarious and awesome. So if you love that movie, you should definitely buy this game.
If you never had the pleasure of playing it when it came out on 360, probably 10 years ago at this point. Basically, it's been something that's been like very heavily asked for by pretty much everybody who gives a damn about Scott Pilgrim. Because once it disappeared from the Xbox Live Marketplace, you couldn't play it anymore unless you had already downloaded it on your Xbox. You can't play it anymore unless you steal it off the internet.
Hey, hey, no.
But like, unless you did that, like you're basically hosed. So folks have been asking for a re-release, and basically what it came down to was, I believe it was Brian Lee O'Malley, who was the creator of Scott Pilgrim, was just like, I want more money. And you know, that was from what I've heard over the years, which may or may not be completely accurate. That was the major holdup of like why we never got a Scott Pilgrim re-release before now. But supposedly either he said, you know, I'm not going to get that money, but I can still get some money, or maybe he got that money. But we're getting a re-release. It's by Limited Run Games. From my surfing across the internet, apparently there's a little bit of controversy about Limited Run because they also did I think it was Streets of Rage 4 limited release. And from my understanding, for the folks who got Streets of Rage 4, a lot of folks took a really, really long time for them to get their copy of the game. Like way after when it was supposed to. So hopefully those are problems that they've rectified. Personally, I don't care when my copy of Scott Pilgrim shows up, just so long as I get it. If you buy the, what do they call it? Not the collector's edition, but the complete edition of the game comes with a big poster of the overworld map. If you've never seen it or you don't remember, it's basically this like 8-bit Super Mario World-ized version of like the Scott Pilgrim whatever city he lives in Canada, I can't remember. Of course, you get a physical copy of the game. You get a bunch of stickers, commemorative tickets to the Clash at Demon Head concert, and a CD of the original soundtrack. Which there's tons of stuff you can find on YouTube. That like soundtrack straight up slaps. Highly recommended. It's up there with like there's a bunch of boppers in the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. Check it out on YouTube and then buy that album because the artist definitely deserves the money.
Yeah, I think from that movie, my favorite track from that movie is the one where he's like fighting the twin brothers. They have like the giant like music monsters.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that one's cool.
That's the best song from the video game too.
Nice.
when you're playing the game and you're going through the level to fight the twins,
Mhm.
there's like this like dope song that's playing the whole way there, and like the closer you get to the boss battle, the louder it gets. And like when you kick through the boss room and you go through, you find that the twins are playing the music. That's the level for the theme of the level. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, just these small touches like that, man. That's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually all we had for news for this week. There's not really a ton that's come out at the start of the year. So let's end on this note. So at least right now, or at least for the next couple months, what are you guys either playing or you're excited to start playing soon? Or watch?
Ooh.
Well, WandaVision is this Friday, so I'll be excited for that.
All right.
The buzz is starting to build. I'm hearing good things. So.
We'll finally figured out what is this show about.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, there's that. It's like
wild.
And then we find out it's basically just Seinfeld, but just set in the MCU.
basically.
It's like Steve and what's it called? Captain America and Falcon are like side by side, and they're like jogging in the park. He's like, "Don't say it." He's like, "On your left." Ah. Oh man.
Just play the Avenger theme on bass in the background. Some dude just pops out all the time.
It's like always Thanos. It's always like Thanos in space with like the Infinity Gauntlet just like floating, and he's just like playing the bass.
That reminds me, I recently heard a combo mix of the Mandalorian theme song mixed with the Avengers theme song, and it's dope. I'll have to send that on here after that.
That sounds like I could imagine that would slap.
All right, so you're excited to watch WandaVision. Is there anything you're excited to play soon, or you have been playing that you're
Risk of
excited?
Rain 2.
Okay.
So it looks, but of course, again, classic console versus PC problem. All of them are playing it on PC, and I'm like, come on, people, come on, throw me a bone here, throw me a freaking bone here. So it's like, yeah, I will be playing it, but whether it will be with my PC friends. So, but apparently there is cross save. So if I at least play it on my Xbox, I can just jump over. So I guess I'll buy the PC version too.
I think having like the cross save as a feature, I think is like the next big thing that will get people to buy games on multiple consoles.
Yeah.
Or multiple platforms, I'll say. For me, I have no idea what I'm hype about to play that's new that's coming out. I've recently gotten back into Rust, in part due to the big 50 streamer Razzmatazz playing on a server thing that happened recently. I think it was last week. Rust was like the most streamed game or most watched game for like 4 days in a row on Twitch. While this was going on, and you know, through the gaming radiation, despite the fact that I don't really watch Twitch, I have contracted what's a radiation-based disease? I don't know, rust cancer. So now I'm playing Rust.
Why would you choose that word?
Well, because that's what radiation does.
It can give you superpowers. You could have gone with superpowers, and you went with cancer.
It can't give
That's
you
what
superpowers.
radiation does. 99 times out of 100, you're gonna develop some form of cancerous thing going on, rather than you getting superpowers. More than 99
Okay,
times
Wade
out of
Wilson.
100.
For the kids
But
watching,
anyway.
do not jump into a vat of acid. Do not go near nuclear waste. Like, you will not gain superpowers unless you've had your genes
Unless it's a
altered.
fake vat of acid, and you have like some like a
find a
rebreather
portal
down
gun
there,
down
and like a box full of bones.
We're just gonna say, don't let your kids take any advice from Steve ever. This is such a terrible choice.
don't jump into a vat of acid.
All right. So besides acid, what are you excited about watching, or have you been watching?
Probably nothing right now. My partner and I, well, she's kind of making me, and but I also agreed to it. We're watching Game of Thrones. It's my first time watching it. I gotta be honest, I straight up hated the first 2 seasons. I did not want to watch this show. But she's been doing a really good job at curating my episodes for me. So we've been skipping over all of the boring crap with plot lines that don't go anywhere or that are straight up boring. I think we're at the beginning of season 6. I guess like we're technically halfway through season 6. And so we're almost done, and now like every episode is interesting more or less, and I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm like, it's I've talked about my feelings about like sinking time into stuff, and when somebody's like, oh man, you should watch this anime, and I'm like, oh, is it good? And they're like, yeah, around episode 30 it starts to pop, and I'm like, you want me to watch 30 episodes of garbage before it gets good? And for my experience with Game of Thrones, I know a whole bunch of people like the show. For my experience with Game of Thrones, it was kind of like, I got to watch 2 seasons, which accounts to somewhere in the magnitude of 15 hours of television before like it starts to get interesting and I start to care about any of these characters. Because for the first 2 seasons, all I want is for Arya to beat the crap out of this little kid because he needs to die or get slapped upside the head or something. And I'm like, I don't care about none of these characters. That's all I want to happen.
I mean, yeah.
And I can talk about Game of Thrones because, I'm 4 years behind the general populace, so if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as watching stuff, well, no, I guess there's not nothing. Probably like the new MCU shows that are coming out. I'm pretty interested to see what those are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to watch WandaVision right when it comes out because I like to be able to just kind of blow through stuff all in one sitting. Because getting myself to sit down to watch TV on a regular basis is real hard. Like I need to just plow through.
Okay, I see. All right.
How about you, Jerry? Oh wait, go ahead, Kenny.
No, go ahead. We'll keep on the future stuff. I gotta talk about Shrek after this stuff.
Oh yeah,
Shrek.
Trek. Yeah, that's good because that's gonna transition out of my stuff. All right, okay, so what I've been playing. So last week we talked about that GameStop sale, which is still going on until tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night I think is when it ends. So on that sale, I bought Persona 5 Royal. Initially my disc didn't work, and I was really mad about it, but I got it to work the other day, and I have lost more time than I meant to playing that game. It is very fun. Like, and you're like, well, what's the game about? I was like, well, it's this like weird like life simulator mixed with like a JRPG, and you're like, that sounds boring. No, it isn't. Like, it immediately. So you turn the game on, and the first 30 minutes of that game are dope soundtracks and like flashy scenes that are like, this game is cool, and you're gonna like it. And you're like, okay, this game is cool, and I like it. And then it goes and like dials back for a minute, but you're already hooked by the time you get there. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. The soundtrack on it is awesome. Everything is like over the top in like a fun way, not in a bad way. And the characters are all very interesting and very personable. So I've been enjoying that.
Did you say personable?
He just said the name of the game in the description for the game.
Roll credits.
I didn't mean to make that joke for once.
Is this your first Persona game?
Yes.
Oh, snaps! Because it was funny the way you described it as like a life simulator mixed with a JRPG, and I'm like, that's all the Persona games.
Well, I've never played a Persona game before. The closest thing I played to a Persona game was Tokyo Mirage Session, which I also love. So
welcome to the party, my dude. It's grand, and the music is dope. So
yeah, if you have a good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say definitely the Persona part of the Shin Megami Tensei series, and then I would say like the digital and the double ones are still kind of like that, but they're more apocalyptic. So there's more like you're more like
more apocalyptic.
Yeah. Nocturne.
Okay.
I was gonna say Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga for sure. But also to your point about it being like life simulator, they still find a way.
Could throw that in there.
It's like, what if it was just like your regular, high school life living, but you also had to deal with murder?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, trigger warning though, the game does start off with some really, really heavy hitting topics. Like. What is it? I'm on like the first castle of the game, and it's like you're basically trying to. What's the word I'm looking for? You're basically trying to out a teacher who is abusing his students both physically and sexually. So the game hits really hard, like right off the bat.
mentally prepare yourself for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like this, your goal in this game is to like bring justice to all these things, and like to get them like arrested by the cops and whatnot. But like, it hits hard. But besides that, I played a bunch of Genshin because I'm pretty consistently playing a bunch of Genshin because it's awesome. And I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers, as you guys have seen on our stream. As far as what I'm watching goes, as I said earlier, this transition to what Kenny wants to talk about, I'm trying to catch up on season 3 of Star Trek Discovery, and I have been having a blast with it. I have cried a whole lot because it is real emotional in a real good way. Like, I think the only episode I didn't cry on was the first one, and then every episode after that, I have shed tears. And I don't usually do that. So, been watching that, been watching The Magicians, but mostly been catching up on Discovery. So, yeah.
They got me. It's good.
Just say yes.
To Steve's point, and we've said this before here, I've said it on Commandership Show, I am in the same boat with Steve as, like, so I have like a 1 season rule. Like, you have to at least make me interested in the first season, even if there's problems. So like, I'm like, if I can like, oh okay, there's problems there, but like I would be interested to see like if they fix this, going forward. So like at least with Discovery, I can say season 1 ain't great, but I still think it's interesting, and then season 2 gets a lot better. Like there might be problems, but it's still like okay, but I enjoy this, and then like knock it out of the park in season 3. But then like if we specifically talk about anime, I might be worse about that because if it starts feeling like it's going down the Bleach Naruto road, I'm out so quick. Like if I detect a hint of it, I'm like, no. The only one that's passed that test for me so far is My Hero, but it could still.
It skirts dangerously close to it.
I feel like if I even sense ki, I'm out.
But that said, Discovery
back,
season...
like, yo, check out this technique I've been practicing. You're like, nah, cancel.
But that's the thing. That show does that. It like does that. Like, let me check out this technique. But it's not based on like building your power levels up. It's based off of, oh, I've been practicing and I'm actually better at this thing I've had the whole time. Yeah. It's like practicing basketball. It's like, oh, I'm a better basketball player because I've been practicing basketball. Like, it's how that show works with their superpowers.
You mentioned a really good point. There's like a video I watched about why this particular dude hates Dragon Ball Z, why more it's actually why power levels are stupid, and like the Dragon Ball Z's problem is that the characters don't become stronger because they become better necessarily, like or they improve, just that their number increases. So like all the feats that they do are all the same. Like he does a big Kamehameha, he does a big Final Flash, like his hair is spikier and bigger or a different color or whatever. So it always, like, everything feels the same. Whereas like My Hero Academia, like, you see the characters utilize their powers in new ways or with better control, or like they team up with somebody else and now they have a whole new array of tactics that they can utilize.
Yeah.
Which is partly because like their power levels like aren't like planet busting, sun exploding, universe quaking power levels. Because at that point it's very hard to show increases of power that like make sense. So
yeah, so like for example on that, like, we're going on a super tangent about this, but like,
and then we'll probably let you get back to your point, Kenny. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. So like for example, Bakugo is like one of my favorite characters, not because like he's a likable character to a certain degree, but because he pushes characters in the show to learn how to master what they can do. Like, he's always kind of like, hey, you can do this, why aren't you doing more with this, dummy? Like, and it genuinely drives people to do better. Like Kirishima getting better. Okay, Kirishima's power is like he can harden his skin like stone. That's it. Like, that's all he does. And you're like, all right, so what's this dude gonna do? Bakugo's staring at him like, no, man, you can harden your skin like stone, like, master this junt. And then season 3, you see him like really take that seriously, and it is one of the coolest fight scenes I've seen in all of anime. Where like Hawks can control feathers. That's it. That's his power. He controls feathers. And you're like, that's lame, whatever. But then you see Hawks show up at the end of season 4, and you're like, holy crap, Hawks can control feathers.
This man is a god from beyond the moon.
Yes.
I was gonna say, like, when Bakugo gets captured and Eraserhead's like, everyone else is like concerned. He's like, no, you all really don't understand. You
don't know this kid.
His anger is an issue, but that's more of like a classroom interaction with like the students. His actual like where his heart is at, and I love that because it gets you as the audience too, because you're kind of like, oh shit,
like oh man,
they picked the right one, and then you're like, oh, they in fact did not.
it's like yo man, it's like dude, it's like look at my character alignment. It's like this is chaotic good, not evil. What the hell? I'm a jerk. I'm not evil.
I will say,
y'all, if you haven't watched My Hero Academia, you need to watch it. It's so good.
What proves Steve's point about Dragon Ball even more to that article's or that video's point about Dragon Ball even more is that they touch on it a little bit when Trunks comes in, and they start going into the other Saiyan levels, and like Trunks is he's like over muscled, and they start to have this talk about like, yeah, Saiyan, it's like Super Saiyan is cool, but if you don't refine it, and kind of same thing, they touch on it again a little bit with Kaioken. It's like, yeah, this could be great, but it's also gonna tear your body apart, so you're gonna have to like, so there's like these little glimpses where it's like, if you had taken that further and really gone into like, here's why Goku was able to last a little bit longer, because he was like working on this with King Kai, and then this is why these things started to like. This is what really was going on when he was in 100% gravity in the capsule heading to Namek. Like these are the things that were, and then you see those concepts come out on Namek. That would have been amazing. You just inferred that like,
but they don't do it in the anime. They do so in Super. They do it a little bit in the manga. So one of the things during that very arc in Super, in the anime, they're just like, yeah, just go Super Saiyan Blue and just pop off and fight Goku Black. In the manga, they established that like Super Saiyan Blue is stronger than Super Saiyan Red, but Super Saiyan Blue is like Super Saiyan Red is more energy efficient. So like when Vegeta was fighting, he would be in Super Saiyan Red, and then like whenever he went to go punch somebody, he would immediately switch to Blue and then switch back. So it was like, oh, cool. There's like a reasonable tactical thing of like Super Saiyan Blue takes up too much energy to just be standing around talking to people. So pop into it for a minute, punch somebody in the face, and then switch back.
I want to reference another anime, but it's going to put spoilers if I reference that. But I will say, this is why I like the Tournament of Power so much in Dragon Ball Super, because it brings back that tactical aspect of it. And people are like, oh, the Tournament of Power was stupid and redundant and it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because you get to see these tactical things play into points. It doesn't put everybody on the same power level, but it puts them at a point where all of their skills do matter. Like, there's a reason why you see Android 17, like, whooping up on everybody and their brother. Like, because he's smart and he knows how to play. Master Roshi takes out a bunch of dudes because he's smart and he knows how to fight what he's got to deal with, and he knows what he can handle and can't. And he deals with that accordingly. Like, I love that specific story arc because it brings those aspects back into Dragon Ball. And it's been missing out of that series for a long time. It's been missing out of a bunch of anime for a long time.
For a really long time.
It's just like, oh, let me increase my power level, blah, 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 blah. No, like, the Tournament of Power is brilliant because it goes beyond that. And I love it for that reason. Also because, like, Kamehameha surfing is the coolest thing I've ever seen in Dragon Ball. But...
What?
Have you watched the Tournament of Power arc?
No. I have not.
It's pretty good.
People just ruin Super for me. This is not blaming you two. But so I have not started it because it's just been like everyone's told me some of the bigger plot. But somehow Kamehameha Wave surfing never hit the ears.
There's
a fight.
Good. You can watch like the Fukatsu no F and Battle of the Gods movies and skip like the first 40 episodes of Super, because for some reason they're just like, what if we just did those two movies but with a lower budget and worse animation quality? I don't know what was up with that, but eventually somebody somewhere would like actually watch a couple of those early Super episodes because they're really bad. Like, in art and animation at certain points, they're really bad, and it's worth seeing it. Like, damn, you really tried to sell me Dragon Ball Z for $5.
So the way that I handled Super, this is what I did, because I haven't watched all of Super for that specific reason. So what I did was I started watching Super when they have the two universes fight each other. So like Beerus and his brother show up, and they're like, hey, we're gonna have our universes like do a little mini tournament. It's gonna be fun. And so I watched that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
They were very upset about it.
So I watched that. Then I jumped straight to the Goku Black arc because it wasn't filler and it was awesome. Like
It's
Goku
so
Black
good.
arc is dope.
Goku
Then-
Black arc is the best arc since the Frieza saga.
Yes.
Whoa.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then after Goku Black arc, I just jumped straight to Tournament of Power because everything that happens in between there is irrelevant.
It's not. I wouldn't call it filler, but it is boring.
Yeah. So I just skipped it and I jumped straight to the Tournament of Power arc and I had a good time with the show.
That's good.
I haven't watched any
It's
of the bad
technically
parts of it.
things happened, but
Yeah, I'm like It's really hard for me to describe something as filler if like it technically fits within the confines of the story and like there are things gained from it. But there's a difference between something being filler and something being boring. And like the stuff that happens in between isn't filler, but it is boring. There's like one or two episodes in there that are filler, but the Moses is just boring. It's just like Goku be like, "Yo, you want to be in the Tournament of Power?" And it's like, "Cool." It's like, "Don't tell Yamcha about the Tournament of Power." Like that's like a straight up like meme.
Oh wait, no, that part is important. No, I did watch that part. That part actually is really interesting and important, where he's like recruiting people for the Tournament of Power.
Yeah, because it goes into like the bonkers power scaling that they try to put in for the other characters, and like basically it gives you reason of like why are they in contention for this tournament still, despite the fact
Well, it
that
also
they're
shows
not
you
Goku.
it also shows you why a specific character is on their team that nobody expected.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true.
That part was really interesting. I was like, what?
I mean, if you've seen like I'm sure Kenny's already been spoiled on it, but I won't tell him.
But yeah, for those that haven't watched it, that's basically the recommended method for it. This is the same reason I haven't watched the last 6 seasons of Naruto.
Yeah.
I just
I've
jumped
already
straight
seen
into
Dragon
Shippuden.
Ball Z. I don't need to watch Naruto.
gasp. But also,
I mean, for me, it's like once in a shonen manga or anime, once a character is like, "Yo, I concentrated all of my willpower and energy into this little beam," and I'm like, "Stop right there! I already saw Goku shoot a Kamehameha wave at a car. I'm good." Like I've
mean,
seen
you're
Dragon
right.
Ball Z.
You're right.
he didn't have
Naruto
to
is
say
just
Kenny, what was you
basically
about to say?
He didn't have to say it though.
Naruto is basically that. Naruto is just basically that, but with more eyeballs. Like that's it.
Yeah, it's that, but with what instead of Super Saiyan transformation, there's eyeball transformations.
Yeah.
So we
Also,
had
there's a little bit of like eugenics in Naruto.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, about how Naruto starts off as like, yeah, I want to work hard and become the strongest ninja that there ever was, and then like by the end of Naruto, is like, yeah, man, so your cousin is Jesus and you're the greatest person who's ever lived. Basically, what it is.
I want to shout out to, was it Indwine? I apologize if I'm saying that tag wrong. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank
Hey.
you.
Thanks, yeah.
Word.
I probably
But-
I probably did butcher that. Probably butchered that completely. It's probably like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, it's like, let's take it back. You just
So as we've gotten into a deep dive on anime, good power anime
God,
versus
yeah,
bad power anime, because apparently we went there today.
Yeah, apparently.
Let's go around and let this be the actual last thing we do. If you had to recommend one anime for people to watch that you would like be like, hey, watch this. It's really good and it'll make you like anime better. What would you say?
God. This is this mean.
Well, you know, there's
hard.
3 of us though. So like, we're probably going to have some like common coverage and we can like cover areas that we don't pick.
All right, I'm gonna keep it real simple. I'm gonna give 2 answers. One's for the people who don't watch anime. The other people who do.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. That's easier.
If you don't watch anime, what's the anime that I think will get you to enjoy anime? Is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think it's a very high quality, solid choice for the first anime. It's very streamlined. Basically they had a bunch of money after they did the first version of the show. This one's more true to the manga, and it's super good. Basically, anybody that you talk to who already has seen anime has seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and has opinions on it, so you'll be able to join in the conversation and kind of be acclimated into the collective. It's a good first anime. For something that I think everybody should watch, Rurouni Kenshin. Great anime.
Ooh.
Old, little bit older, I was gonna say JoJo's, but everybody's watching
Oh
JoJo's.
my gosh.
But
I don't
Rurouni
know if
Kenshin is
everybody's-
real good.
Okay, so I'm actually.
Everybody should be watching JoJo's.
I'll pick JoJo's as mine that everyone should be watching
Okay.
because I feel like it's had a resurgence. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm glad that people are picking up on it. But I still feel like there's more people that could appreciate it. And
Yeah, I haven't seen JoJo, so yeah.
It's so good. Like all the stuff that we talked about today about like how the power scaling in Dragon Ball tends to get somewhat stale. Not the power scaling, but the feats in Dragon Ball get stale because they're always the same. Like JoJo does not do that, and like there are always clever solutions to problems with the tools that they have. There's no Yu-Gi-Oh of like, oh, I'm gonna pull this card out of my deck that no one's ever seen before, but now it's in there. You didn't see me buy this card, but I have it now. Like there's none of that.
Karibo times 12.
There's none of that stuff. Like it's all crafty solutions to problems.
But are you gonna let
All
someone that you got to play against on the island hold your trump cards over the rail of a boat?
Right.
Poor life choices. All right, so what was your other anime, Kenny?
Your starter anime.
My starter anime.
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur.
Get out.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go a little off kilter. So I'm gonna go mech, but I'm gonna go with Big O.
Yeah!
I assume if you're gonna try to get into it the first time, you'll probably search out Cowboy Bebop, so you'll get to that eventually. And so that would be in the list. But I think Big O, one, it's short, kind of in that same. It's an animation style that if you're more used to Western animation, at least kind of like I think it's a nice bridge. Because we always joke about it being the Batman of anime, and I'm like, there's a reason.
Yeah, because he is.
Because it is, but it still has a classic. Like, okay, there's still some standard conventions here that will start to edge you along the way, and then you can get into like more and more weirder stuff, or not weirder, but just things you're not used to. Yeah, I don't want to use the word weird.
Cool.
That's a solid choice. Solid choice.
My starter anime is probably going to be My Hero, obviously. And I say this specifically because, like, we have a society that's really, like, enjoying a lot of superhero stuff. And I would put it right up there. I put it above, like, most of the superhero content that we consume as far as quality goes.
Whoa.
It does a better job of showing what a society would look like with superheroes than all of those other things do currently.
I agree.
It actually
also-
delves into the
also
consequences of that.
Their society, there are a lot more superheroes.
Well, and also they've had them a lot longer.
Yeah, and it
lot of
actually
our-
asks the question. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but a lot of comic book movies and stuff assume that, maybe you've had Captain America running around and Ant-Man secretly, but you just haven't had a lot of people out being superheroes for a long time. Or at least if My Hero, it's like there's been generations and families and lineages passed down to where, there's just like, what is the natural evolution of this having been in the ethos for like. Sorry. So you make a good point. I just want to make that one little distinction. I think there's a reason the movies are still having like this.
Yeah. And if you watch
With the comic books and the movies, I think that's more on purpose. It's easy for anybody to jump into like comics when everything you've already heard about Spider-Man is true, probably about this Spider-Man. Like you could pick up any Spider-Man comic book, and almost any information that you know about Spider-Man is probably accurate about the very Spider-Man that you're holding in your hand. So like they kind of like there's no like they've done runs where it's like Spider-Man ages up, and he's a 50-year-old man and he has a family and whatever. But that's those kind of things are like special where they follow like what does the world look like after the first generation of superheroes has come and gone. But like the comic book world as a whole kind of stagnates. Or I say like locks their superheroes in a stasis, so that you don't really get a lot of stories about like what does the superhero world look like, or what does the world look like 6 generations down from this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of on purpose.
Yeah.
In DC, it was called Kingdom Come, and it ended disastrously.
So bad. But if you like the movie Captain America: Civil War, and you're like, man, I really want to see them tackle this issue of like, what is heroics actually versus like vigilantism, and like what are the consequences on society? My Hero does a really good job of talking about that. there's a couple story arcs that are built around that, and it's really good. As far as people who are already like anime, probably either Code Geass or Escride. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of that show, but both of those are really good. They're both like they're really good that set up a premise and then they throw you like way off the deep end into something else with like weird mecha technology things that are happening. I like both of them a lot. Escride's probably a lot less well known, but it is very good and you should check it out.
I love that Lelouch, so if we're going to flip at Gash and Gary, it's that Lelouch is Gary Oak, but he's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
As far as like what's going on in the world around him. So it's like, dang it, I hate your guts. I don't want to root for you. It's like Light in Death Note. Which we also have a shout out. Thank you, Indwine, for that. Thank you. And also, Great Day said, it's interesting, doesn't fit the general trope of all anime as just fighting, and it's mature enough, it isn't just for kids.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what it makes me think of. It's like, you have a protagonist that they're in the protagonist slot, but they're not necessarily embodying what you would think of as the protagonist. So you get your rival and protagonist roles kind of get some of the traits. I love it when a show does that. So Code Geass, definitely, and then shout out to Death Note for doing that same thing. I love it.
Yeah, true story. Death Note. That was the other one that was also I'm thinking about because Death Note is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just won't talk about that.
I would throw Gurren Lagann out there as a bonus anime.
Yeah.
Just because it's bonkers enough that you're probably not gonna watch another mecha anime that gets as wild as Gurren Lagann does towards like the last like 5 episodes or whatever it is.
Give me all the mech.
Yeah, we could go on and on forever talking about our animes that we've liked watching over the years, but we'll do that on another show maybe one day. Maybe like Commander Ship Show will go like an anime edition one day.
Nah.
And then we'll pay a bunch of artists to create anime versions of us, and we'll do it all animated.
You know, we could just pay Sarah for that, right?
There you go.
I thought about it.
I could portray a chibi version of me.
I see those cogs working in Kenny's head right now.
We could do like, gosh, we should do like an anniversary show.
The production cost of this show is about to skyrocket.
That's why we just do it for one. I wouldn't be able to do it for all of them. It'd be like, I still imagine it's gonna be like, actually, you know, if it was 16-bit, it'd be easier. It'd honestly be easier because
would it be?
The reason I'm saying is because once you get the generator, then it's just, you know, I'm saying like the mouth movement doesn't have to be. It's just like.
Yeah, basically.
Or dial it back way and just go with puppets.
Oh no!
Just like stick.
Like that one episode of Community.
Oh my gosh, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a bunch of anime coming out this year, so we probably should talk about it at some point. I know My Hero Season 4 is supposed to start in March. Rising of the Shield Hero, which is a bit controversial for various reasons, but that new season is supposed to come out this year. I don't really know about what other anime is coming out this year. But yeah, so that's all we've got for tonight. This has been Afro Steve, Commander Ship, and Ace Trainer Jerry, and we will check you guys next week. Oh, in the Commander Ship show, I forgot about that. That's going to be Wednesday at 8 o'clock. They talk a lot more about movies and TV shows. Kenny's on that show, so you can check that out then. Have a good night.
Bye. Have a